little bit about me. My name's Jenine. I own a recruitment agency called Recruitment. Okay, I have owned the company for the last 3 years, and the reason that I'm here today and I've been given this awesome opportunity by Sanlam is to talk to you about how you go about getting a job. What I, as a recruitment agent, look for in people. What makes me discard CVs, what makes me put CVs forward, that sort of thing. So it's just a few tips and tricks about how you go about getting the job. Firstly, your CV. This is the single most important document you will ever compile. Trust me when I say that. Your CV is what sells you. So a couple of do's and don'ts on your CV, okay? Some very big do's. I'm actually going to show you an example of a CV and how you can sort of take from that template. Some big do's. Please make sure that you put your contact information in and that your contact information is correct. If I tell you how many times we've received CVs that don't have telephone numbers or don't even have a person's name, it's something so silly, but it really is important. So make sure that your contact details are up to date. And if your cell phone number changes for whatever reason, don't cross out the thing and write it in pen and stuff. You really need to look after your CV, put it in properly. Some very big do's. Make sure that the fonts that you use are standard right throughout, that it's the same size, that your spell check is done, that you've got everything. If you're sending a Word document, that you have done the final markups and stuff, and it's not all these red little lines and green lines and whatever else. It's actually more professional. If you are sending your CV to actually save it in a PDF format, it just looks a lot neater. Some people do request that you send it, especially agencies and stuff, will request that you send it in a Word document. Some big don'ts, okay? Never, ever, ever lie on your CV, ever. Don't ever extend what you've done. If you've been a job hopper and stuff, rather be upfront and honest about it. A lot of people, a lot of clients and stuff will request a lot of the time, criminal checks and ITC, credit checks and stuff. And it is very, very important for you to be upfront about it. You may have had one glass of wine or one beer too many to drink, being caught in a roadblock and stuff, but rather just be upfront about it if that is the case and stuff. And especially with your ITC as well, it's very important. Okay, important information, like I said, your date of birth, your ID number, your contact details. References are quite important to put on your CV as well. Any qualifications that you've done, if you've done any volunteer work, that kind of thing, that all adds to your CV. Alright, to give you an idea here, we've got a CV of Timothy Nkosi, okay? Timothy's got a picture of himself, which is quite nice. It's a professional sort of head and shoulders shot of him in work attire. He's got all of his, key information and stuff over there. He's put a couple of his interests in. Guys, if you're going to do the generic, I like reading and cooking and baking and that kind of thing, then just keep it short, But it is nice to be able to identify with some people in terms of, if you are a mountain biker per se, then, you might find that your prospective employee is also a mountain biker, and that gives you a common point of interest to talk about. He's listed his qualifications. You don't need to list which primary school you went to and, that you went to 4 different high schools and stuff like that. Just where you matriculated from, the year that you matriculated, and also if there are any, special things, like you received 8 distinctions or whatever it may be. That's nice to put in. He's then nicely got a career summary, which as you get older and as you gain more experience, it's very, very nice to see, at a glance, okay, he's worked for Deloitte, he's worked for Pick and Pay, he's done, he's also worked for Elizabeth Ann's Children's Home. It's just a nice, but it is a summary, guys. It's exactly that. It's just the name, the position, and the period. He's listed his computer literacy, and that is really important in this day and age. Guys want to know that that you are computer literate, and just list, even if it is just the Microsoft stack, list it. Okay. Professional appointments, if you are associated to any associations and stuff, then by all means list it down. He's also listed his achievements to date. You can see he got a contract to the value of 29 million rand. That's really big stuff, so put that in. And then he's gone into the career detail. of everything. So that is where you go into the details, where you say who the company was, the dates that you worked and stuff, and what some of your duties and that included. So when you're looking for positions, how do you go about doing it? You have a look on job portals, websites like Job Mail, Best Jobs, Job Vine, Just the Job. There are hundreds and hundreds of them, okay? You can even go the old-fashioned way of scanning through the classifieds and that, looking for jobs. Another very, very nice tool is social networking, okay? And whether that's Facebook or whether it's LinkedIn, it's great. You know, if you're looking for something, say, hey guys, I'm looking to start. If anybody knows of anybody, let me know. You'll be surprised at how many people will say, actually, you know what, I know of a company that's looking for graduates at the moment and stuff. Why don't you send your CV through? LinkedIn is another very powerful tool. It's almost like Facebook, but for corporates, if you know what I'm saying. So you're not putting your status updates and stuff like that. You are merely, it's a really nice way to interact and stuff. They've got groups, they've got job boards, they've got all different things, and also it'll say a new legislation has come in with regards to pharmaceuticals or whatever it is, okay? And then obviously word of mouth. Preparing for your interview, do some company research, guys. Look at the company that you're going to when you get that interview, okay? Confirm your interview the day before, whether it's with a recruitment agency or whether it's with the company directly. Some interview tips, guys. Greeting your interviewer. When you greet your interviewer, you shake their hand, okay? I'm going to go into a whole thing of handshakes not to do. It's 2 short shakes, it's firm, it's confident, and that's it. And you've got to let go at the right speed. It's important. You're going to practice good poise. You're going to sit up straight. You're going to try and choose an armchair which has got, a chair which has got arm rests and stuff like that, so that you don't fidget, okay? You are going to not read anything on the desk, on his desk, on the walls, or anything like that. You're going to stay focused, guys. Okay, you've got to look at it. As soon as you start going, what is that? They're going to go, this guy's nosy, or you're going, reading is like, whiteboard or whatever it is. Just sit still, try and keep your hands together so that you're not fidgeting. You are going to be very nervous and stuff, especially the first time of interviews. The more interviews you do, the more confident you become. I promise you that. Okay, and remember that other person is just a person on the other side. Do you know what I mean? It might be a big corporate, but he's still a person. He still has to go to the loo like we do. You know what I mean? He's just another person. So, talk to them. Okay, be informed. Have a look at what's going on in the news and stuff, okay? So the Olympics are starting. You don't need to know that Ghana came 3rd last year in the 100-meter sprint, or do you know what I mean? But you know that the Olympics are starting. So yes, what do you think about the Olympics? What do you think of our team or whatever it is? Expect a little bit of small talk. Like I said, you don't need to know absolutely everything, but a little bit of general knowledge is a good thing. Listen while your interviewer speaks, guys. Listen to what they are saying. Don't talk over them and stuff. Listen to what they have to say, and when they are finished, you respond, okay? You limit yourself to approximately 2 minutes when speaking about yourself. Respond by being brief, positive, and articulate, guys. This is brief. Don't go into a whole, my mother's sister's brother was once an engineer who, you know what I mean? Be brief. Okay, speak clearly, project your voice, convey confidence and enthusiasm. Maintain eye contact, but do not stare. There's nothing worse than this. Okay. Never ever be critical of past employers, guys. Don't ever say, oh, you know what, I had a boss and he was the worst boss in the whole wide world and, he was completely unfair. Now, don't ever slate past employers, okay? Because what they're saying is if you leave their place, what are you going to say about them? So if it didn't work out, you say, you know what, the company didn't really work out, there was a bit of a personality clash, or, you don't have to go into the full detail of it. You got to get the job. Some questions to expect, like I said, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? those are some of the typical questions that you will get, you know. How are you going to add value to our organization? That sort of stuff. Okay, and you've got to give it a little bit of thought, you know. This is like, how are you going to answer that? Emphasize the value that you can add to the company, not why you need the job. Okay, never ever bring up salary. Originally, the recruitment agency or the company will have advertised a base range. So if you're applying for that, okay, you kind of have an idea of what it's in. Don't you ever bring up the salary portion. If they say to you, what are you looking to earn, or how much are you wanting, you know, to take home a month or whatever it is, then by all means discuss it, but don't you ever bring it up. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you don't walk in and say, hi, my name's Mark or whatever, how much are you going to pay me to be here? You know, it's not about, understand, you need them, unfortunately, more than what they need you right now. Don't overstay your welcome. You say your goodbyes and stuff and you go. You don't stand lingering around and then have a chat to the receptionist, and you know what I mean? You just say your things and get out. And thank your interviewer for his time and for his consideration. Handshakes to avoid. This is a big thing. Okay. The wet fish. You know when your palms are sweaty, okay? I get nervous and my palms sweat, and it's this terrible thing. Make sure that your hands are not wet, okay? You don't want that wet fish handshake, okay? Then you have the vice, which is like super, super, super tight, okay? You don't want to do that either. You've got the bone crusher, which is, you know when a guy, typically, I think the ladies will understand more. When a guy shakes your hand and they're like, kill your hand, and you're like, but you definitely want to avoid that. The fingertip grab, okay? So many times guys get this. What is that? What is this? This is not a handshake, okay? Guys, don't do that. You have a handshake. Then you've got the stiff arm thrust. It's not natural, guys. You've got the socket wrench, okay, which is kind of this motion. I mean, who shakes a hand like that, guys? It doesn't happen, you know what I'm saying? Then you've got the pump, okay, and the pump is that like, I mean, you just can't do it. And then you've got this Dutch treat, you know, where you get guys that go, it's like this exaggerated like shake, okay? Guys, it's ridiculous, I know, but really it's important. You must remember to smile, guys, and a genuine smile. You have these people that have got these tight lip smiles, you've got these smirky smiles and that sort of thing. You've really got to smile, and when you smile, you'll see here, there's actually like a facial coding system that goes with it. Okay. Your mouth muscles go up, your cheeks raise, your eyes crease, your eyebrows dip. That's a proper smile. Okay. Believe it or not, it is. Things to avoid, guys. Crossed arms. They showed a group of university students some information, okay? The guys that were sitting with their arms crossed lost 40% of that information. Okay. When you cross your arms, you close yourself off to information, so don't do that. It's a negative thing. Okay. Rubbing your palms together. It shows that you're devious. It does. When you have this, you sit there like that. It comes across as being devious. Rubbing your thumb and your forefinger together is a negative association with money. So it's okay. Hands clenched together shows signs of frustration, and the height shows the level of frustration. So if you're sitting, sorry, with your hands clenched together like this, okay, the higher you are, the more frustrated you are, and you don't believe it, but you'll see it. Keep mind of these things, guys. Next time you do it, you'll see. And steeple fingers, this standing like this, okay? This shows that it makes you think that you have all the answers where you actually don't. So you'll be talking to somebody and you'll think you're actually talking rubbish, and you'll sit like this because your body is just automatically doing it. You don't even realize that you're doing it. Key elements, guys. Eye communications, keep eye contact, but don't stare. Posture and movements, sit up straight. It makes you look enthusiastic. It makes you look like you're not going to be bored with it, and you're not fidgety. Gestures and facial expressions, guys, you got to be careful about it. All those different points, the steeple fingers, all of that or whatever, take that into association. Your dress and appearance, like Jenine said, is very, very important to project the right image. You want to get the job for the right reason, not because you've got the lowest cut top, not because do you know what I mean? You've really got to dress for the part. Your voice and vocal variety, make sure you project. Your language, your pauses and non-words. Don't use slang, guys. Don't be like, hey, how's it, brah? You know, what's up? You don't want to do that, okay? Not in the corporate environment. The listener involvement, make sure you listen. Use humor, okay? It keeps people interested. And just be your natural self, okay? Guys, if you've got any questions, please, I'm around or whatever it is. And yeah, thanks for listening.